The Accidental Entrepreneur. So I titled this speech that, and you're about to learn why. So come back in time with me for a second. Let's journey back to 2017. In 2017, I was 21 years old. And so my dad had actually had high blood pressure and he had a hemorrhagic stroke. At this time, I was working at Chase Bank and it was the most stressful time of my life. I was working at Chase Bank 40 hours a week. At that point, I thought it was like my dream job because I was making a nice $16 per hour. I was working in this large corporation, and then I get a phone call that my dad has fallen sick from a hemorrhagic stroke. And so, if you're not familiar with that term, it's basically when there's bleeding on the brain, right? And anytime you have bleeding on the brain actually dies and decays. And so he was in a coma for months. And at Chase, I had to make the decision and I had to say, okay, am I going to continue working this 9 to 5, Sunday through Thursday, full time? Or am I going to quit and help my dad? Right. And so I made the decision to quit and help my dad. He actually ended up coming back to his house, which he bought. And so I took care of him with my family. Right. And a few months later, he passed away. He passed away maybe 4 months after this event happened. And as you can imagine, I was heartbroken and it totally rocked my entire world. But what it also did, it plunged me into this phase of accidental entrepreneurship. Because my dad, when he passed away with a business degree and he worked at a corporation for 25 years only to be denied his retirement. And so I took it upon myself to say, you know what, this is never going to happen to me. I am never going to work for a corporation for 25 years. I'm never going to be in a place where someone else dictates what my life looks like. Someone else dictates when I get to eat and take a break, when I get to travel, or if I get to travel, or anything else of that sort. I'm not going to be in a place where I'm in corporate America and I have microaggressions and racism breathing down my neck, right? And so I became an accidental entrepreneur. I've always loved writing as a child. I still love writing to this day, which is why I am a writer. I am a speaker and an entrepreneur that actually creates content for Black businesses that need to fuel their own passions and break the shackles of poverty. Because guess what? In corporate America, people that look like you and I aren't welcome. And even if they are sort of welcomed, it's not like totally welcome because you're probably not getting the same wages as your corporate counterparts. And you will feel those microaggressions and you will come across a lot of difficulties. And you will only be able to make it maybe this high, while those around you who do not have the qualifications that you do have not put in the work that you've put in. They are exceeding far above you simply because the color of their skin. And so this is my story, how I became an accidental entrepreneur. I decided to sit down and think about what I was good at. And throughout my entire life, like I said, I've been a writer. I love writing stories as a child, and I still love to write stories now. I started an Instagram business page. I started my own blog. And from there, I mastered social media marketing. I mastered strategic storytelling. I mastered the written word with my blog. And 7 years later, this accidental entrepreneurship thing has paid off greatly. I'm telling you this story because there's something in your life that you have to let go of. There are some mindsets that you need to get rid of that are going to allow you to elevate to the next level. And for me, that thing that rocked my world was the death of a parent. For you, it might be something different. Maybe you get fired from a job that you had trusted in and had worked for years and years and prepared in college for. Or maybe a sickness is that thing that rocked your world and has you thinking differently about life. Whatever it is, this is your sign to go 100%. I know it's scary. I know you're afraid right now. I know you're thinking, but how can I be an entrepreneur when I've never seen it? Or how can I be an entrepreneur when I don't have all of these resources and a network? But the truth is that the wealth is right inside of your mind. And the only thing that you have to do is to get it out of your mind through thinking, resting, writing, speaking, talking through it, even, right? Because on the other side of this irrational fear is going to be a life that you could have only dreamed of living. And that's why I'm currently in Tanzania. I am in a small town in Tanzania. I've been here with my family and my husband for 3 years now. Okay. And it's all because we decided to step out of the boundaries and the mindsets that people had put on us, right? And we cared enough about the things that were going on around us to look and say, you know what, this type of lifestyle is not paying off for me. This type of lifestyle is not giving me a return on my investment. So I'm going to go to greener pastures. I'm going to go somewhere where freedom is actually abundant in the very air that I breathe. So today I implore you to expand your barriers, expand your horizons, expand your territory. There is an entire world out there waiting for you, but you have to take the first step.